I trusted him. I trusted every word that came out of Brandon Walsh's mouth. And because of that trust, I destroyed the life of the most loyal person I'd ever known. My name is Robert Chen. I'm 64 years old, and for the last 3 years, I've been living with a guilt so heavy it wakes me up at 3 in the morning, drenched in sweat, replaying every moment I got wrong. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me start from the beginning. 2 years after my wife Linda passed away from pancreatic cancer, I was still trying to figure out how to live alone. We'd been married for 41 years. She was the one who paid the bills, managed the household, remembered everyone's birthdays. I was the engineer who could design a bridge but couldn't figure out online banking to save my life. That's when Maria came in every morning at 8. Maria Rodriguez had worked for us for 18 years. She started when Jennifer, my daughter, was in high school. Maria wasn't just our housekeeper. She was family. She knew how Linda took her coffee. She knew I hated mushrooms. She remembered to buy the sugar-free cookies I pretended I didn't eat at midnight. After Linda died, Maria became even more essential. She'd make sure I ate actual meals instead of cereal for dinner. She'd remind me to take my blood pressure medication. She'd sit with me on the bad days when the house felt too empty and just let me talk about Linda. "Mr. Chen," she'd say, in that gentle way of hers. "Miss Linda, she would want you to be happy. She would want you to live." Maria had a son, Carlos, who was 23 and studying computer science at the state university. She was so proud of him. He was going to be the first in their family to get a college degree. Maria would show me his report card every semester, her eyes shining. "All A's, Mr. Chen. All A's. He's going to have a good life. Better than cleaning houses like his mama." "There's nothing wrong with what you do, Maria," I'd tell her. "You've built a good life. You've raised a fine young man." She'd smile and wave her hand dismissively, but I could tell it meant something to her. Then there was my daughter, Jennifer. She was 38, whip-smart, a marketing executive at a tech firm in Seattle. She'd married Brandon Walsh 4 years ago, and I'd been thrilled. Brandon seemed perfect for her. He was a financial advisor at a prestigious firm, always dressed impeccably, always knew the right thing to say. At their wedding, he'd given a toast that made everyone cry, talking about how he'd finally found his home in Jennifer, how he'd spend every day making her happy. I'd clapped until my hands hurt. Finally, after a difficult divorce in her late 20s, Jennifer had found a good man. After Linda died, Brandon had been wonderful. He'd flown in for the funeral, handled arrangements I was too devastated to think about, stood by my side at the reception, making sure I ate something, making sure I wasn't alone. "Robert," he'd said, putting his hand on my shoulder, "you're family now. Not just Jennifer's dad. You're my family. And family takes care of each other." I'd been moved. I'd lost my wife, but I'd gained a son. About a year after Linda's funeral, I sold my engineering firm. I'd built it from nothing 40 years ago, and it had done well, very well. The sale brought in $2.1 million after taxes. It was more money than I'd ever imagined having, and I had no idea what to do with it. Brandon did. "Robert, let me help you," he'd said during one of their visits. "This is literally what I do for a living. Investment management, portfolio optimization. You can't just leave $2 million sitting in a savings account earning nothing." "I don't know, Brandon. It's a lot of money. I don't want to risk it." "Risk it? Robert, I'm talking about smart, conservative investments. Bonds, dividend stocks, maybe some real estate trusts. Nothing crazy, but you could be earning $50,000, $60,000 a year in passive income just from letting this money work for you." Jennifer had nodded enthusiastically. "Dad, Brandon's really good at this. His clients love him, and he won't charge you anything. Your family. I couldn't ask you to work for free." "You're not asking. I'm offering. Please, Robert, let me do this for you. Let me take care of you the way you've taken care of Jennifer all her life." How could I say no to that? So I'd agreed. Brandon set up accounts, moved money around, sent me monthly statements I barely understood. They were full of terms like asset allocation and diversified portfolio and annualized returns. All I knew was that Brandon said everything was going well, and I trusted him. He'd call me every few weeks to check in. "Robert, how are you doing? Staying healthy?" I'm fine, Brandon. Maria's taking good care of me. Speaking of which, how much are you paying her these days? Same as always, 400 a week. There'd be a pause. 400? Robert, that seems like a lot for housekeeping. Maybe we should think about reducing that expense. Maria's been with us for 18 years, Brandon. She's family. I understand. I do. But from a financial planning perspective, that's over 20,000 a year. We could hire a service for half that. I'm not firing Maria. Okay. Just a thought. I'm trying to optimize your cash flow, that's all. These conversations happen more and more. Brandon was always suggesting ways to cut unnecessary expenses. He'd ask about my utility bills, my property taxes, even my grocery spending. Brandon means well, Jennifer would say when I mentioned it. He's just thorough. It's what makes him good at his job. But Maria noticed things I didn't. Mr. Chen, she said one morning while making my breakfast. I don't like that Brandon. I looked up from my newspaper. What? Why not? He's been very helpful with my finances. He asked too many questions. About money, about the house, about your will. It's not right. He's a financial advisor, Maria. It's his job to ask about money. Is it his job to look through Miss Linda's jewelry box when he think no one watching? I frowned. What are you talking about? Last time they visit, I see him in your bedroom, going through Miss Linda's jewelry. He don't know I come upstairs. Maria, you must have misunderstood. Maybe he was looking for something for Jennifer. And why he always want to know about your pills? Your medications? He asked me what you taking, how much, from which doctor. He's concerned about my health. Maria put down the spatula and looked at me directly. Mr. Chen, I work for many families in my life. I know a good man when I see one. Brandon, he is not a good man. He smiled too much. His eyes, they are cold. I felt a flash of irritation. That's enough, Maria. Brandon is my son-in-law. He's been nothing but kind to me. She'd looked hurt, but she'd nodded and gone back to cooking my eggs. I felt bad about snapping at her, but I was annoyed. Maria was wonderful, but she didn't understand professional people like Brandon. She was reading things into innocent actions. That conversation had been 3 months ago. I wish I'd listened. It was a Tuesday morning in October when everything fell apart. I'd woken up, taken my medications, come downstairs expecting to smell Maria's coffee brewing. Instead, the house was silent. Maria was never late. In 18 years, she'd maybe called in sick twice. I called her cell phone. It went to voicemail. Odd. An hour later, Brandon called me. Robert, are you sitting down? His voice was serious. Grave. My heart started pounding. What's wrong? Is Jennifer okay? Jennifer's fine. But Robert, I need you to check something for me. Can you log into your bank account? My bank account? Brandon, what's going on? Please, just check it. I'll wait. With shaking hands, I opened my laptop and logged into my checking account. It took me 3 tries to remember the password. When the screen loaded, my stomach dropped. The balance showed $47,382. 2 months ago, it had been over $200,000. Brandon, I don't understand. Where did the money go? That's what I was afraid of. Robert, I've been monitoring your accounts like we discussed, and I noticed some unusual transactions over the past 6 weeks. Large cash withdrawals, transfers to an account I didn't recognize. But I haven't withdrawn anything. I haven't made any transfers. I know you haven't. Robert, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me. Has anyone else had access to your accounts, your passwords, your banking information? No, no one except... Wait. Maria has my passwords written down. In the kitchen drawer. In case of emergency. In case something happens to me, and someone needs to access my accounts to pay bills. There was a long silence on the other end. Robert, how much do you pay Maria? $400 a week. Why? And she's been working for you for how long? 18 years. Brandon, what are you saying? Robert, I think Maria has been stealing from you. The words hit me like a physical blow. That's impossible. Maria would never. Robert, I've seen this before with elderly clients. Someone in a position of trust. Someone who has access to the home, to personal information. They start small. A little here, a little there. Then it escalates. Did she know about the sale of your company? About how much money you had? Well, yes, but Robert, I need you to check your investment accounts. The ones I set up for you. Check them right now. My hands were trembling as I logged into the other accounts. The numbers swam before my eyes. $165,000. Gone. Various withdrawals and transfers over the past 2 months. Dates when I'd been home. Dates when Maria had been there. Oh God, I whispered. Robert, I'm so sorry. I should have caught this sooner. I should have put more safeguards in place. But the transactions were authorized with your passwords, so the bank wouldn't have flagged them. But Maria, she wouldn't. Her son is in college. She's been saving for years. Brandon's voice was gentle but firm. Robert, that's probably why she did it. College is expensive. Maybe she thought you wouldn't notice. Maybe she thought you owed her after all these years. People rationalize all kinds of things when they're desperate. I need to talk to her. There must be an explanation. Robert, no. Don't confront her. She could destroy evidence. She could disappear. You need to call the police. Right now. The police? Brandon, I can't. Robert, she stole over $160,000 from you. This is a felony. Multiple felonies. If you don't report it, if you let her get away with it, she'll do it to someone else. Some other elderly person who trusts her. I felt sick. Maria. Maria who'd held my hand at Linda's funeral. Maria who made my coffee every morning. Maria who remembered Linda's birthday and put flowers on the counter without being asked. But the numbers didn't lie. The money was gone. And only Maria had access. I'll call them, I said quietly. Good. And Robert? I'm getting on a plane tonight. You shouldn't be alone through this. The police came that afternoon. 2 detectives, one older with gray hair, one younger taking notes. I showed them everything. The bank statements, the password list in the kitchen drawer, Maria's work schedule that matched up with the withdrawal dates. Mr. Chen, how long has Miss Rodriguez worked for you? The older detective asked. 18 years. And she had complete access to your home? To your personal documents? Yes. I trusted her completely. Did she ever ask for raises? Loans? Did she ever seem to have financial difficulties? No. But her son is in college. She's been paying his tuition. The younger detective looked up from his notes. So she had a financial motive. I suppose so. But, Mr. Chen, the older detective said gently, I know this is hard, but the evidence is pretty clear. We'll need to bring her in for questioning. They arrested Maria at her apartment that evening. I didn't go. I couldn't. Brandon said it was better if I wasn't there, that seeing me might make things harder. Jennifer called me, crying. Dad, I can't believe Maria would do this to you, after everything you did for her, after all these years. I know, sweetheart. I know. Brandon feels terrible. He thinks he should have caught it sooner. It's not his fault. It's not anyone's fault but Maria's. But even as I said it, I felt a deep, gnawing doubt. Maria called me from the police station. They let her make one phone call, and she called me. Mr. Chen, please, please, you have to believe me. I didn't do this. I would never steal from you. You and Miss Linda, you've been so good to me. Please. I heard someone telling her time was up. Maria, if you didn't do it, then who did? I don't know. But it wasn't me. Mr. Chen, please, my son, Carlos, he needs me. He's going to lose his scholarship if I can't. The line went dead. I sat there holding the phone, her voice echoing in my ears. She'd sounded genuinely terrified, genuinely confused. But criminals always proclaimed their innocence, didn't they? Brandon arrived that night. He'd taken a red-eye from Seattle. Robert, how are you holding up? I don't know. This doesn't feel real. I know. I'm so sorry you're going through this. He made me tea. We sat in the living room, the one where Maria used to dust the shelves every Thursday. I keep thinking about her son, I said. Carlos, he's a good kid. This is going to destroy him. Robert, that's not your responsibility. Maria made her choices. She's the one who's hurting her son, not you. I know, but No buts. Robert, you're the victim here. You need to remember that. $165,000. That's not a mistake. That's not a desperate act. That's calculated theft over a period of weeks. He was right. The evidence was there. But something kept nagging at me. The next day, Maria's lawyer called. She was being charged with felony theft. The prosecutor was pushing for a prison sentence of 5 to 10 years because of the amount involved. Mr. Chen, my client maintains her innocence, the lawyer said. She's asking if you'd be willing to consider that there might have been a mistake. The bank statements aren't a mistake, I said. Sir, Miss Rodriguez has worked for your family for 18 years without a single incident. She's never been arrested, never been in trouble. She has a son in college, a clean record, references from a dozen other families she's worked for. Does this really sound like someone who would suddenly start embezzling 6 figures? When he put it that way, it did seem odd. The evidence shows transactions made with your password. It doesn't show who actually made them. Sir, my client is begging you to at least consider that someone else might have had access. There was no one else, just Maria. What about your family? Your daughter, her husband? Brandon had been staying with me. He was in the kitchen, making lunch. My son-in-law is a financial advisor. He's the one who discovered the theft. I see. Well, we'll be investigating all possibilities. We'll subpoena the bank's security footage from the ATM withdrawals. We'll trace the transferred funds. The truth will come out, Mr. Chen. I just hope you're prepared for what that truth might be. He hung up. I sat there, the lawyer's words echoing in my head. Brandon came in with sandwiches. Who was that? Maria's lawyer. He's saying she didn't do it. Brandon rolled his eyes. Of course he's saying that. That's literally his job. Robert, you can't let them manipulate you. They're going to try every trick in the book to create doubt. He said they're going to pull security footage from the ATMs. For just a second, I thought I saw something flicker across Brandon's face. But then he smiled reassuringly. Good. Let them. The footage will show someone with access to your account making withdrawals. And who had that access? Maria. That made sense. The trial was set for 3 months later. In the meantime, Maria was out on bail. Though she'd had to sell her car to pay for it, she'd lost her other clients. No one wanted to hire a housekeeper who'd been arrested for theft. I heard through the neighborhood that Carlos had dropped out of college. Without Maria's income, without his mother around to help, he couldn't afford tuition and rent. I felt terrible about it, but Brandon kept reminding me, she did this to herself. She did this to her son, not you. Brandon and Jennifer stayed for 2 weeks, making sure I was okay. Brandon helped me change all my passwords, set up new security measures. From now on, only you have these passwords, he said. No one else. Don't write them down. Don't share them. You can't be too careful. Thank you, Brandon, for everything. I don't know what I would have done without you. He hugged me. That's what family does, Robert. After they went back to Seattle, I tried to return to normal life. But normal didn't exist anymore. The house felt wrong without Maria. I tried hiring a cleaning service, but it wasn't the same. They were efficient but impersonal. They didn't know that I liked my coffee at 7:30. They didn't remember to buy the sugar-free cookies. I ate a lot of cereal for dinner again. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 3 in the morning and walk through the house, thinking about Maria's face when the police took her away, thinking about Carlos dropping out of school, thinking about how 18 years of trust had ended with a phone call and a police report. 2 months passed. The trial was in 3 weeks. And then everything changed. It was a Friday afternoon. I was sorting through some old financial documents, trying to organize things for the trial, when my doorbell rang. I opened it to find a woman I'd never seen before. She was in her mid-40s, professionally dressed, with dark circles under her eyes, like she hadn't slept in days. Mr. Robert Chen? She asked. Yes? My name is Amanda Walsh. I need to talk to you about your son-in-law. Something in her tone made my blood run cold. I'm sorry. Do I know you? No, but you need to know me. Can I come in? Please, this is important. Against my better judgment, I let her in. We sat in the living room. She clutched a large envelope in her hands, her knuckles white. Mr. Chen, I don't know how to say this gently, so I'm just going to say it. Brandon Walsh is my husband. I stared at her. That's impossible. Brandon is married to my daughter. He's married to both of us. I've been married to Brandon for 14 years. We have 2 children, a daughter who's 12 and a son who's 9. The room seemed to tilt. That can't be right. You must be mistaken. I'm not mistaken. Brandon lives 2 lives. He's with me and the kids in Portland Monday through Thursday. He tells us he's traveling for work. Then he's in Seattle with your daughter Friday through Sunday. He tells her the same thing. Why are you telling me this? Because 2 weeks ago, I found something. Bank statements. Accounts I didn't know existed. And when I traced the money, I found transfers. Large transfers. From accounts in your name. She opened the envelope and pulled out papers. Bank statements, transaction records, screenshots of accounts. This is a complete set of records from a bank in the Cayman Islands. Brandon set it up 3 years ago. He's been moving money into it from various sources, including, in the last 2 months, transfers totaling $165,000 from your investment accounts. My vision blurred. I couldn't breathe. That's not possible, Maria. Maria didn't steal from you. Brandon did. And he framed her for it. She showed me everything. Account numbers, transfer dates, screenshots of emails between Brandon and the offshore bank. But how? The passwords. Brandon is a financial advisor, Mr. Chen. He set up all your accounts. He had access to everything. He told you he was optimizing your portfolio, but what he was really doing was creating a paper trail that would implicate Maria if anyone ever checked. The ATM withdrawals were done by Brandon using your debit card. Look at the dates. Every single one was on a day when he was visiting you, when he was helping you manage your finances. I looked at the dates. She was right. October 3rd, Brandon had been visiting. October 10th, Brandon had been visiting. October 17th, Brandon had been visiting. But the security footage will show a man, not Maria. Brandon's been stalling on releasing that footage, hasn't he? Finding excuses for why the bank hasn't provided it yet? She was right. Every time the lawyer asked about the security footage, Brandon had some explanation for why it was delayed. Oh my God, I whispered. Maria, I sent her to jail. I destroyed her life. Her son. I know. That's why I'm here. I can't let an innocent woman go to prison because of what my husband did. Your husband? How long have you known? Amanda's eyes filled with tears. I suspected Brandon was cheating for years. But I didn't know he had a whole other family until I found your daughter's anniversary photo on his phone. That's when I started digging. That's when I found the money. Why is he doing this? He has a good job. He's a financial advisor. Had a good job. Brandon was fired 8 months ago for embezzling from clients. He's been lying about it. The business trips are him scrambling to cover his tracks, stealing from one person to pay back another. Your money was supposed to cover what he stole from his firm before they audited him. I felt like I was going to vomit. Jennifer. Does she know? About me? No. About his job? No. About any of it? No. He's been lying to all of us. I need to call the police. I already did. They're on their way. I wanted to tell you first. To explain. Because when this comes out, it's going to destroy your daughter. And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. But I can't let Maria suffer for Brandon's crimes. The police arrived 20 minutes later. Amanda gave them everything. The bank statements, the account information, the offshore account details. They arrested Brandon at his office in Seattle that same day. Jennifer called me hysterical, incomprehensible. I couldn't understand what she was saying through her sobs. When she finally calmed down enough to speak, she asked me the question I'd been dreading. Did you know? Did you know, Dad? No, sweetheart. I swear I didn't know. He told me he loved me. He told me I was his whole world. And the whole time, he had another wife, another family. He was stealing from you, from Maria, from his own clients. How did I not see it? Because he was good at lying, Jennifer. Because that's what con men do. The case against Maria was dropped immediately. The prosecutor apologized personally. She was released, all charges dismissed. But the damage was done. Maria had lost 2 months of her life in legal hell. Carlos had dropped out of college and taken a job at a warehouse to pay bills. Their savings were gone, spent on legal fees and bail. And I was the one who'd done it to them. I tried calling Maria. She wouldn't answer. I tried going to her apartment. She wouldn't open the door. Finally, I wrote her a letter. Dear Maria, there are no words for what I've done to you. No apology sufficient for the pain I've caused. I should have believed you. I should have questioned. I should have investigated before I destroyed your life with a single phone call. I let my trust in Brandon blind me to the truth. And you paid the price. I know you'll never forgive me. I don't expect you to. But I want you to know that I'm setting up a fund. Everything from the sale of this house, every penny, will go to you and Carlos. Your legal fees, Carlos's college tuition, 4 years, paid in full, and a settlement for wrongful accusation. I've spoken with my lawyers. It's $340,000. It won't give you back the 2 months you lost. It won't give Carlos back the semester he missed. It won't restore your reputation or make your other clients rehire you. But it's everything I have left to give. I failed you, Maria. After 18 years of loyalty, of trust, of you caring for my family, I failed you in the moment that mattered most. I'll carry that with me for the rest of my life. Robert. 2 weeks later, I got a response. Maria's handwriting, the same handwriting I'd seen on grocery lists for years. Mr. Chen, I accept your apology, not because it makes what happened okay, but because holding anger would only hurt me more, and I've been hurt enough. Carlos starts college again in January. Thank you. I cannot work for you again. I hope you understand. But I want you to know, I forgive you. Maria. I held that letter and wept. Brandon was sentenced to 12 years in federal prison for fraud, embezzlement, bigamy, and a dozen other charges. His fancy career, his carefully constructed double life, all of it collapsed in a courtroom in under an hour. Jennifer divorced him. She moved back to California, closer to me. She's rebuilding her life, but I can see the damage in her eyes. The way she second-guesses herself. The way she doesn't trust easily anymore. Amanda divorced him too. She and the kids moved in with her parents. The last I heard, she'd started nursing school. The house I'd shared with Linda for 40 years sold last month. I moved into a small condo. I didn't need all that space anyway. Every penny from the sale went to Maria and Carlos, just as I promised. I see Maria sometimes, at the grocery store or around town. We nod to each other politely. Sometimes she asks how I'm doing. We're not friends. We'll never be friends again. But in her eyes, I don't see hate anymore, just sadness. Just the recognition of two people who both survived Brandon Walsh, but barely. 5 years have passed now. I got a letter last week from Carlos. He graduated summa cum laude with a degree in computer science. He's starting a job at a tech company in San Francisco. Good salary, benefits. Mr. Chen, he wrote, I wanted you to know that I'm grateful. Not for what happened, I'll never be grateful for that, but for what came after. For owning your mistake, for making it right, as much as anyone could. My mother taught me that good people sometimes do terrible things, and that what matters is what they do next. Thank you for doing the right thing, even when it cost you everything. I keep that letter on my refrigerator. On the bad days, when I wake up at 3 in the morning remembering Maria's voice on that phone call from the police station, I read it. It doesn't erase what I did, but it reminds me that maybe, just maybe, it's possible to do something so wrong and still find a way forward. I trusted Brandon Walsh. I trusted him more than I trusted an 18-year relationship with someone who'd never given me a reason to doubt her. And that trust destroyed everything. They say trust takes years to build and seconds to destroy. They're right. But what they don't tell you is that rebuilding trust, rebuilding lives, rebuilding yourself, that takes even longer. Maria was innocent. She told me she was innocent, and I didn't believe her. I'll live with that for the rest of my life.